is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No. Y'all,
This
just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Hump day.
That's right.
That's right.
I like it. Hey, turn it up.
I did, but then it just, the air is like,
Yeah.
just straight out of the room. Like, people aren't even like, oh, yeah, I remember that commercial. They're just like,
It's like if you're about to go on the dance floor and you see somebody raising the roof and you're like, let's get a drink. We're not. Yeah, you can't go out there with
raise
them.
the roof.
No, that's why I'm not.
but that's
why I'm at
how
the bar
bad that
drinking
was.
some-
That was worse than raising the roof. Not even one person goes, I guess I'll raise it with Tori.
Erica just said she would.
But I'm
I
saying,
would.
but Tori's comment
I
with the
would.
hump day.
I don't care. I love you.
No, I would raise the roof too.
Yeah, I'm not easily shaken by the opinions of others. I would go and raise.
I have an
Which-
opinion on raising the roofs that we'll discuss.
Which
in the
brings
break.
us into our first story because it's going to get saucy. Saucy. All right. Jada Pinkett Smith has dropped a very large bombshell in her upcoming memoir, Worthy. In it, she said she and Will Smith have been separated, secretly separated, I should say, for 7 years. In a conversation with Hoda Kotb on the Today Show, Jada said by 2016, she and Will were exhausted from trying to work on their marriage, but said they have no plans to divorce. Let's watch.
I think just not being ready yet. Still trying to figure out between the two of us
Yeah.
how to be in partnership, right? And in regards to how do we present that to people, you know? And we hadn't figured that out. I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever. And I just haven't been able to break that promise.
But you still live separately.
We live separately.
All right, so Jada also talked about what was going through her mind when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars last year. She said she thought it was a skit at first and was unclear why Will was so upset because they were not husband and wife and had been living separately for years.
I'm going to start. I'm going to kick it off, and then I'm going to come out of it. Okay.
And then go hide.
And then I'm going to go hide. Here's what I think. She's allowed to do whatever she wants. He's allowed to do whatever she wants. But what I have a little issue with is on Red Table Talk, which is the space to be open. They never were open that they weren't together. So it feels a little awkward that they went on together so often and was holding off this big secret when the whole part of Red Table Talk is to spill your secret. So if you're asking, like you said earlier, if you're asking other people to come and be open, I don't feel like they were open. And that sort of rubs me the wrong way. Not that it's like she's canceled, but like,
My issue
am I wrong?
is twofold, and I look forward to talking with my
gonna go
sister
hide.
about this. Yes, but yeah, it's going to be, go get something to eat.
Okay.
But, honestly, if we look at just the situation of the situation with the entanglement, we'll use that word for right now. My issue is hearing about this now. We could have squashed that narrative then about Will being publicly emasculated in the eyes of many, including myself. If she had come out and said, I didn't cheat on my husband, we've been separated, and Will was like, hey, we've been separated, because I had a very similar situation. My ex-wife and I were separated almost longer than we were married. So if somebody had seen her on a date and said, Al, oh my goodness,
right,
your wife is out with this, I'd be like, are they having a good time? Because I'm on a date too. So you could have squashed that narrative right there, but it was allowed to continue. And I do believe that has affected his public persona, which will affect his professional life.
I think that they are in a business arrangement. A lot of married people are, especially when you're talking about the 1%, and they absolutely are. Will and Jada were like one of the first Hollywood couples that I remember saying that divorce was not an option. It stuck out to me because I knew a lot of divorced people. And I eventually became a divorced person. And much to what Al was saying about him and his ex-wife, most people did not know that I was divorced until I was getting married. So it wasn't as though that was something that I was choosing to put out there, because there were a lot of factors involved in why I was separated and divorced. And also at that point, I was going through a major transition in my life. I think they're going through major transitions in their lives, and the fact that everything is so out there for everyone. I disagree kind of on the Red Table Talk thing. And I think the reason why is because the reason why Will came on the show was to talk about the entanglement. And they said they were separated at the time. So there was kind of like a loose end there. And the idea of giving more information that we've actually been separated for 7 years likely needed more breath. And as people who are on a show where we're constantly like, you know, things can be taken out of context, we only have so much time. So if you're going to go into giving that type of detail about the relationship, I think a memoir is more appropriate to give that type of detail about a relationship, to also put it into the greater context of your life, your public life, the responsibilities that they have always felt, being #Black love. There's just no way to get everything right. So I'm not trying to come for Jada because she made this big admission. I mean, the Will could have said it too. Obviously, he knew she was going to say it. So I think at the end of the day, they decided to continue on in the business of marriage that they created.
I do have a question, because I mean, I've seen you walk the walk, and I remember this is probably like season 3. I think your ex-husband came to drop something off for you, and I was like, you guys are really that cool? And you were like, oh yeah, I wish him nothing but the best. And I was like, what a mature way to approach it, you know, a separation. You guys have been long divorced at that point. So let's say during that period of time when you guys were separated, but a lot of people, like you said, didn't know, if somebody posted on social media, that person out with the date, I don't even know his name, and everybody was calling him this and that, I'm gonna get him fired from his job, I can't believe he's cheating on our beloved Erica. Would you have addressed that then, or would you have waited till your memoir to address the fact that you guys are separated?
Well, since I'm a public figure and he isn't, I likely would have. But you're talking about two people who have lived the majority of their lives in public. The idea of there being a backlash on social media cannot possibly be a trigger. Like that's like a Tuesday. So I don't know if going to combat every single thing that someone says about you in social media is a good way to use your time, especially when you're performing at that level. You only get 24 hours a day. I don't care who you are. So if you are using those hours in order to try to correct a narrative against people who are committed to misunderstanding you, you're doing it all wrong, and you're likely not getting to the 1%.
It's not saying I didn't like your outfit at the Oscars. It's saying that your wife is cheating on you in public. That's something I would feel that anybody would have the time to. I feel like the Bidens would address that.
Al, think about like any of us, how many times someone has said something about us on social media that is completely out of context, not true, never been true, or coming for us. If you go after every single thing that's said, and a lot of them can be hurtful if you're not in the right mindset, then that shows people that this is the way that you are going to live your life. You're constantly going to be correcting a narrative. I have no interest in correcting a narrative personally. I know most people who are productive have no interest in correcting a narrative.
It was the lead story on shows like this. That's a pretty big narrative. That's the A block.
Everything's a lead story when you're Will and Jada.
So you address it. I don't think, Jeff, would you let that ride as somebody who's super, like?
No, I wouldn't. Listen, for me, we're running short on time here. You use the word emasculating. That's how I would feel if I were Will Smith, right? Your wife's being paraded out in public with this young kid. I'm kind of like sitting here thinking it's okay. Then my wife gives me this look at the Oscars. I still love her and I want to defend her and I want to show her the man that I am. And she gave that look and he went up there and did what he did. It ruined his career. It ruined her career. It did. I know what you want to say, how strong
when I look at movies with him,
they're going to be fine. They have money, but it ruined their career, it ruined their public image. That's just what it is. What it is. That's what it is. And people could say they live their life, that's cool too. But for me, that's not cool.
Interesting.
Is it? I don't know. Coming up on DBL, our interview with singer-songwriter Jessie James Decker. She's telling us about her new song and cookbook. Plus, is a Seinfeld reboot really happening? We're talking about it next. What's up? Oh, go ahead. Well, so we had some scary videos that I wanted to get to, but that conversation was a little scary in itself.
What's really funny is at the end, they had their moment, and then they all went to me, and I just went, cool, good talk, Jeff. No, I was telling them how I just was like, bye. Some things are interesting. Some people are like, what's your business? Some people are like, what's not your business? Some people think that it changed their career. Some people think that Jada will be perfectly fine.
What's interesting to me, though, since you guys are all asking about my opinion, is that this is coming from such a masculine perspective of a man is being outed in this relationship about another woman, a woman is having with another man. But too often, for the last, eternity, men have done the same to women where they've had other relationships or they've been with a younger woman or had multiple women that they've cheated with.
Totally.
And there's never this conversation. It's move on, it's move forward.
It's normal.
It's very normal.
Very
so
normal.
to me, it's like, and if you hear the conversation, in my opinion, it sounds very masculine. Based on the standpoint of they're losing the career because Jada is stepping out and did all of this. Well, for all we know, Will has been cheating for years. You have to remember, Will is not only an actor, but also a rapper and a model for 20 years plus before any of this happened. And there's
Will was the one
multiple
to slap.
stories.
Will was the slapper.
There's also multiple stories that Will was stepping out of his relationship long before in early 2000s and late 90s with multiple different types of people. So with that being said, it's
Very well said.
who is really here to judge that?
But am I right? Let me challenge that. Will didn't go on a Red Table Talk and talk about that, and they did. But maybe that was their prerogative.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I see what you're saying at the same
Very
time
masculine.
too. Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Welcome back to DBL. The Frasier reboot is set to air tomorrow on Paramount Plus. Tori, I thought this was the finale.
No,
We're
it's
getting
just a
kicked
lot of
off.
teasing, guys.
But it might not be the only reboot that is in the works. Seinfeld, a reboot for that might be in the works. We're going to tell you why. Jerry Seinfeld took questions from the audience at his Boston Comedy Club show, and one person asked if he liked the 1998 finale of his TV show. Jerry teased that something is going to happen that has to do with the ending, but it's still a bit of a secret. If you don't remember, the show ended with Jerry, Elaine, and Kramer and George sitting in a jail cell, but many fans were upset with how it all went down. So, could we see a do-over in the near future? First of all, I'm a big Seinfeld fan. Anybody?
Jeff, can you address what's going on down here? She's like rubbing her. I don't know what you're doing.
Because
with your
I'm
mug.
just wanting to talk so much is this.
Well, here's your chance. Cameras are on you.
Seinfeld will not have a reboot. Ever, ever, ever. The idea that Seinfeld is we went out on top. That's the idea. They call it the Seinfeld effect. He will never do this. I bet you $2, not a lot, $2.
Why don't you pay off the sandwiches?
All right, I'll get you a sandwich.
Yeah.
$2. This is a Super Bowl ad. It's a Seinfeld Super. They're all going to be in it. George Costanza was already in one a long time ago with the sweatshirt that looked like Costanza. It's just going to be a Super Bowl ad, and that's all this is.
I mean, I'll say this.
$2.
I hope you're right. Because I don't know if you can bring back anything that's so beloved from 1998.
Give me a break.
Redo the finale, and then everybody's like, so much better 22 years later. That's in a place in everybody's mind, in their heart, and they're like, just don't touch this.
Exactly.
Don't
and
do
they know
anything
that.
weird.
They're comics.
Right.
They don't do that.
I think they did right. I think maybe a lot of people are learning from the Sex and the City reboot, which has been successful in its own right, almost as a totally different show. But you can't go back to that magic of your high school crush, because now y'all are both 40. You know,
you're in a bowling league.
Yeah, somebody's finances aren't right. You want to keep it when everybody's 18 and you had hope.
Glory days.
Somebody's finances aren't right.
Yeah, they redid it. I don't know if you guys watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, but Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David were writers on Seinfeld. And then he spun off and did Curb Your Enthusiasm. But they had a whole season dedicated to the Seinfeld reboot.
Right.
So they kind of did that already.
It.
So something like a Super Bowl commercial or something more creative is definitely, it's more palatable.
Right. Or could it be even to get to another season of Curb? I mean, it's just something internal there.
Would you be okay with a movie? Really quickly? If they wrapped it up with a movie,
I wouldn't
That
mind
way-
it. That's not bad.
That way, you could still kind of have that old nostalgia. You could set it wherever you wanted.
What, are you going to have Kramer back after he said that racist tirade?
I mean, you make an excuse about why he's not there. You know, oh, Kramer missed the cruise ship.
So now you miss Kramer.
Yeah.
Right, he's in lockdown.
But they address that
In the Curb.
Curb Your
I know.
Enthusiasm as well.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if anybody can write his way out of that, Larry David.
Yeah.
So, hey,
I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe a movie.
They're stuck in that jail cell forever. It's
Yeah.
not happening.
I guess not. Coming up on DBL, singer-songwriter Jesse James Decker is telling us all about how her new song is an inspiration for new mothers.
But you ain't never tasted.
On October 3rd, the White House announced a plan to build 20 miles of border wall in South Texas. Several Verify viewers, including John and Brandon, reached out to ask if this is a reversal for President Joe Biden. So, let's verify. Did Biden previously say he wouldn't construct any more of the border wall? Our sources are the Department of Homeland Security and remarks made by Biden. In 2020, on the campaign trail, Biden told a panel of journalists that, as president, he would not expand the wall.
There will not be another foot of wall constructed on my administration.
Once elected, on his first day in office, he issued a proclamation to pause work on each construction project on the southern border wall. So, yes, President Biden did previously say he wouldn't construct any more of the border wall. However, Biden argues he had little choice in stopping this new construction. In 2019, under then-President Donald Trump, Congress passed a spending bill that earmarked more than $1 billion to build this section of wall. And CBP said unless Congress cancels these funds, the law requires DHS to use the funds consistent with their appropriate purpose. Since that was never done, the project is moving forward. Biden's Secretary of Homeland Security also acknowledged there is presently an acute and immediate need to construct physical barriers. With your Verify along the U.S.-Mexico border in San Diego, I'm Brandon Lewis.
I'm gonna love you like nobody's loved you. Ain't in no hurry, so let's take our time. Just wrap your arms around me, give in to me tonight. 'Cause I'm gonna love you for the rest of my life.
Welcome back to DBL. That was I'm Gonna Love You from country music star Jesse James Decker. And when she isn't busy singing from her soul, she can be found cooking up recipes from her newest cookbook, Just Eat. Earlier we spoke with her all about it. Take a look.
Please welcome to the show, Jesse James Decker.
Hey,
how's it going?
First of all, beautiful voice. And I have to say, fans are dedicating your song, I'm Gonna Love You, to their newborns.
It's so sweet.
I can't believe
honestly, when I
this.
wrote it, that was like not the intention at all. It was supposed to be a love song, but I love the take everyone has on it.
Is that so sweet? So that wasn't the inspiration at all. Is that correct?
No, I wrote it in 2020, and I went to go write it, and it was supposed to be just a love song about my husband. But fast forward, I found out I was pregnant right before we released the song, and so when I went to shoot the video, I kept getting emotional and teary-eyed during the video because I just kept thinking about this new baby, and no one knew yet in the room. And then as soon as it came out, it just felt natural to make that a part of it. And now all these incredible videos and stories about people that are relating it to their growing family. It's just been really sweet to see.
Congratulations on baby number 4. And I know just just days before you got pregnant, you joked about your husband refusing to get a vasectomy. So is he finally sold on it, or are we really looking for a full team here?
He always wanted a big family, and I always loved a big family too, but I really felt great, at the time. I felt complete with 3, but something kept telling him, he said in his mind, just to hold off. And I couldn't be more grateful that he held off, because I I can't imagine life without this baby already. I'm just, he's so a part of me, and I love being a mom. And so I'm really grateful that he didn't do it. And now that we get to have this new addition.
Beautiful.
I love it. I got to talk to my wife about some other things. But yes.
Have you gone to vasectomy?
I haven't. Well, I didn't want to say that, but we're talking about it. Yeah.
Cut it out, Jeff.
I got to go get it. I'm good, but bless you. Let's talk about your book, because some women, they have certain cravings. My wife, it was chicken salad for some reason. I still remember that. She loved chicken salad. Have you ever experienced any unusual cravings, and are they in your new cookbook, Just Eat?
You know, this book is just full of a variety of things. So that if you've got a craving, I can promise you it's in there. Somewhere in the book, there is something in there. This book is not a very specific theme or tone to it. I would say the most consistent thing about the whole book is that it's just cozy, and I do feel like it tastes like home. I'm not a chef, I don't pretend to be, nor have I ever been, but I am a home cook, and I feel like this book is full of recipes that I have created or made, and I just want your life to be easier and to show you the recipes that I make at home. That way you can make them for your family as well, but there is a variety, trust me.
I am smitten from the cover. That looks like a really delicious lasagna.
Yeah.
And then if I was just
we all ate it after too.
I was perusing to that deep dish cookie. What? Okay, so Just Eat is taking a new spin on the tried and true comfort foods like your monkey bread that we made using the recipe from your book. But which recipes do your kids beg for? Can we eat this monkey bread already? I'm dying to eat it.
Yeah,
we're eating it. You talk, we're going to eat.
I get asked all the time that question, and my kids are so different. I'm proud of my kids because they are not picky eaters. Because I started feeding them real food early on. It wasn't just mac and cheese every day and chicken nuggets in the microwave. I don't play that game. Vivian had gumbo at the age of 8 months old, and now that's her favorite thing. And my second, Eric Jr., loves salads. What 8-year-old wants salad? He wants salads every day. I'll have a salad. I want bell peppers. Eats a bell pepper. And then Forrest is bolognese. The kid wants bolognese every day.
Bolognese.
You start them early, and they eat well later on in life, and they're not picky eaters, but they eat. Trust me. I go to the grocery store and I check out, and the checkout person goes, "You throwing a party?" I'm like, "No, I just have hungry children."
Got a big family. This monkey bread, by phenomenal. Jesse, thank you for joining us. DBL Nation. Make sure you pick up your copy of Just Eat, available now, and order your set of Jesse's cookware from Walmart.com today. Yes. Before we go, here's a clip from Jesse's song, Not in Love with You. Thank you again, Jesse. Congratulations.
Mazel.
Thank you, guys.
At multiple Walgreens stores nationwide, pharmacists walking off the job. Not for higher pay, they say, but for health and safety reasons.
We're so busy running ourselves ragged. It's like a marathon. And seeing, customer safety be at risk as well as our own.
Tammy, who asked us not to use her full name, works as a pharmacist technician at a busy Walgreens in Minnesota. She says she joined at least 10 of her colleagues who did not report for work on Monday.
It's very scary, and we're actually getting to the point where it looks like I don't know how much farther we can push ourselves.
In addition to filling and verifying prescriptions, Tammy and other Walgreens employees say pharmacists and support staff are also managing a high volume of calls, working with insurance companies, and administering a growing number of vaccines. In a statement, Walgreens acknowledges that the last few years have required an unprecedented effort from our team members, and that it has been a very challenging time. The second largest retail pharmacy also says it's engaged and listening to the concerns raised by some of its team members, and is committed to ensuring that the entire pharmacy team has the support and resources necessary. Last month, CVS pharmacy customers in Kansas City were impacted when workers there also walked off the job to protest over similar staffing concerns.
They understand the risks that are being posed to the community that with these demands on them, so they don't want to make a mistake.
According to USA Today, CVS corporate staff flew to Kansas City to meet with organizers and agreed to improve working conditions and patient safety.
I don't think a lot of customers understand that we are trying to do our best for them.
Walgreens organizers say they don't want to disrupt patient care, but need to take a stand, a sentiment some customers can appreciate.
I support workers' rights, and, a little inconvenience for me is worth it.
Several verified viewers forwarded us this text message that says 7 women died after inhaling poisoned perfume for a sample they got in the mail. Our viewers want to know if it's real. So, let's verify. Our sources are Glen Eagles Hospital in Malaysia, the DC Metropolitan Police Department, and a search of social media archives. The warning in this text claims to come from Glen Eagles Hospital, but there's no hospital in the U.S. with that name, although there is one in Malaysia. Glen Eagles Hospital has debunked this viral warning several times, including in this 2013 statement on Facebook saying, "We have never admitted or treated such patients and have never been aware of such incidences. We would also like to categorically state that this email did not originate from our hospital." 3 years later, the warning resurfaced on WhatsApp, prompting Glen Eagles to issue another statement calling it a hoax that has been around since 2001. This warning is one of several similar hoaxes that are attributed to the Office of Risk Management at the Metropolitan Police Department in Washington, D.C. A police spokesperson tells us the text wasn't sent from them and noted that the Office of Risk Management isn't located at the address listed on the text. So, no, 7 women did not die after inhaling poisoned perfume samples. The warning is a hoax. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. Even the most reliable cars like Tori's can break down or have issues from time to time.
Why is
To be
everyone
prepared,
laughing?
keep these handy tools in your car, Tori. Listen up. That's today's Auto Alert, sponsored by Ox Car Care. First, a tire pressure gauge is smart to keep in the car, especially as the weather cools down and your tires may need to be refilled. Next, if your tire needs to be changed, keep a jack in your car. It's a good idea, so you can do it yourself. Lastly, consider always keeping jumper cables in the back. You never know when you or someone else may need help starting a car. Ox Car Care is dedicated to providing you with an amazing auto protection plan experience that works with your budget. If you're looking for better car care, give them a call today, 800-946-5040. I went to go get air in my tire at the gas station.
Yeah.
$2 for air.
Wow.
I almost lit the gas station on fire.
Jeff, I'll tell you this. I was going to say my confession has to do with air as well. I don't know how to use the tire gauge.
I don't know
what the number is. I'm just like 38. All right. Yeah, sure. What do you? I don't know what to do with that.
I don't know how to use that either. But what's going on? $2? Is this Spaceballs? $2 for air?
Air! I love that part of Spaceballs.
Wow.
I thought that was
wrong
free.
business, Jeff.
Yeah.
And do you have $2? That's not good.
In quarters?
Yeah.
I don't have a quarter. All right, see you tomorrow.
Change.
$2.